What's up guys, Nick here, and you're watching Nick and Katie. So in this episode of Nick and Katie, we take this Stumpjumper here, this 2019 Comp Carbon Stumpjumper from Specialized, and turn it into a mullet. So right now I have it sitting as a mullet bike. In the very beginning of the video, obviously it's not a mullet bike, it's a 29er in the front and in the rear. So what we're gonna do is basically take the rear wheel off of my 5010 and put it on this bike. The cool thing about it is it literally matches up perfectly, same cassette and everything, so it's literally just plug and play. So it's super simple to do this. I really like how the bike turned out, so we're gonna watch me basically get it to this point, take it for a test ride, and then in the end I'll tell you guys my opinion of the bike and how I feel like it rides. So without any further introduction, let's get into it. So I'm basically just gonna swap this wheel from the 5010 onto the Stumpjumper and see how the bike rides. I'm gonna take some measurements beforehand to see how much it lowers the bottom bracket and also see how much it changes the head tube angle, because I feel like that's gonna be some things that maybe you guys would want to know. Let's get the numbers first and then we'll take the wheel off, swap them over, and take it for a test ride. Alright, so the first thing we're gonna do is measure the head tube angle, and I'm guessing it's gonna be around 65 degrees. 65 degrees right there. Perfect. Alright, and then so for the bottom bracket, it looks like we are 335 millimeters. Alright, now that we got all the math out of the way, let's swap these wheels over and see how it looks. My GoPro has been having some issues where it randomly stops recording. So unfortunately, it cut out the part where I got the data on the head tube angle and the bottom bracket height. But it's fine, because ultimately after the test ride, I realized the bottom bracket was way too low and the seat tube angle was way too slack, causing the bike to absolutely suck on the climbs. The bike was fun to ride downhill and even performed decently on techie descents and features, but was definitely not practical. Luckily, my Stumpjumper comes equipped with a flip chip, which allows me to change the geometry of the bike from a low to high position and vice versa. And since the flip chip was set in the low position, I could simply remove two bolts, remove the shock, flip the chip, and instantly have a steeper head tube angle, steeper seat tube angle, and a higher bottom bracket height to offset a bit of the changes made when swapping for the smaller rear wheel. This brought the bike to a perfect medium between the 29-inch rear wheel in the low setting and the 27.5-inch rear wheel in the low setting. Alright, so now, since we flipped the flip chip, we should definitely recheck the bottom bracket height as well as the head tube angle to see how it affected that as well. So let's do that now. So it looks like now we are at 328 millimeters. And let's check the head tube. 64.7 we'll say. Alright, so that changed it quite a bit. Let's go take it for a test ride now and see how she does. Alright guys, so we just got back from the test ride and I feel like this thing freaking rips now. I got to take it on some of the streets around my house, and while there isn't any like actual mountain bike trails for me to ride just yet, maybe hopefully today we will get out and actually ride some actual trails. It freaking rips, dude. Like, it feels so much better. I feel like it didn't raise it up too much to where I feel like I have a 29-inch wheel in the back again. And it was like right in the sweet spot there. I just feel like it was maybe a little bit too low before, and now it's just perfectly right. And I mean, obviously the numbers won't lie. They literally came up like right in the middle of the two numbers. So it's freaking perfect right now. I tried to do some climbing with it. It seemed to handle good. It seemed like the seat tube angle was pretty good as well. For the climbs, and I just feel like the whole bike is it's just freaking awesome right now, man. Like, I am definitely more in love with this bike as a mullet than as a 29er. Hopefully we can go ride some trails today. I'm really hoping we can actually see how it rides on the trail, because that's the true test, seeing if I'm going to do any pedal strikes or anything like that. But as for right now, I'm super stoked to go try it out. Almost as stoked as pretty much more stoked than I was yesterday to try it out. So yeah, can't wait. So now that we're done test riding the bike and messing around with it a little bit, I feel like I finally got to a spot where I'm really happy with the bike. And it's really cool because I was actually thinking about selling this bike, and I mean I still sort of am to a degree. I would really like to get like a full-on like 27.5 enduro bike. However, this bike is so much more fun to ride now and is a little bit more wild and a little bit more modern geometry in my opinion, with the slacker head tube angle, the lower bottom bracket, and the mullet on the back, like the 27.5 wheel in the back, is definitely the way that I like it. And I've never ridden a mullet bike before, so, well, in a parking lot for a second, but I've never actually ridden a full, you know, on the trail mullet bike. So very stoked with how it actually turned out, and it makes me really want to keep the bike. So the only problem I come to now is the fact that my 5010 is sitting without a wheel on the bike stand right now. So obviously that's not super cool. I'm probably gonna end up just putting the 29 wheel back on this bike and then storing it like that, and then when I need it I'll just swap it out, and then hopefully in the future I can get a 27.5 wheel that's dedicated to this bike. So in the future, that's what I definitely want to do. Let me know down in the comments what wheel I should get for this bike. It would be nice to have a wheel with higher engagement than this current hub does right now. And I'll probably end up putting Maxxis tires on the front and the back. But let me know if you have any other recommendations as far as that goes as well. But like I said, I'm super happy with how this turned out. So yeah, let me know down in the comments what you think of this. And as always, I'm Nick, and you're watching Nick and Katie. Thanks for watching, guys.